Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Propnight, which can only really be described as a Dead by Daylight clone. It's got some interesting and different mechanics to it, but essentially it is Dead by Daylight, but not as good, in my personal opinion, although that opinion is very subjective. We'll go over the settings and then we'll jump into the actual gameplay. We will look at the gameplay of both Killer and Survivor. I will take some clips of both. But let's jump into the settings and have a look at what this game's got to offer. Okay, so settings. The first major issue that almost made me switch this game off and not cover it at all is the resolution settings. If you switch off of the resolution setting that you're on, it instantly defaults to it. It doesn't have a drop down menu or an apply feature. It just instantly switches to that one, and I had to switch through a fair few to get to 1080 because it defaulted to 768 for some reason. That needs fixing because that is wholly annoying and really not cool. If you have resolution settings, it should be on a drop down or at least have an apply before you switch that one. It shouldn't just be an automatic switch to, making the screen constantly go black and waiting for it to refresh and then having to actually go through that time and time again. I'm not happy. It's 2021. I expect better. And that, you've got render scale. Everything's on fantastic, and I'm happy to say that motion blur is off by default. Another thing I want to note is in the audio settings, you will need to mute this, and you've got to have it on to mute it because it is open mic otherwise, and all I heard through my first game was the killer shouting obscenities at us all as he was chasing us down like the big man baby that I expected him to be. So for your own peace of mind, switch that off. You don't need to hear it. If you want to play with friends, do it in Discord. Save yourself the trouble. It is pretty good at detecting your microphone though, which is good. Controls wise, it is really simple. You can use the controller with this. I've been using the keyboard. It would be nice if there was a crouch feature, but there isn't. You've got run and like jump, but it doesn't look like you can crouch, which is a bit of a shame, especially in a game like this. And then you've got your spectator and then just common controls that you need. And that really is it for the options. It'd be nice if the UI looked a bit better. It looks a bit slapdash, like it was slapped on at the end without much thought. But aside from that, it's got pretty much everything that you need. Again, just change that resolution setting and maybe make it where the mic is off from the get-go as opposed to having to go in and switch it off. And I'm happy. Let's jump into the customization and have a look at what you can do there. And then we'll jump into the game. We'll start with a survivor and then we'll move over to killer. Okay, so these are your characters. This is all you've got for now. I don't know if they're planning more in the future with DLCs and stuff. But honestly, I'm a little disappointed. One, it doesn't actually tell you how you can unlock these. It'd be nice if there was a tooltip to explain that. But all of these are locked, except for the one basic extra one that you get with Katie. All the others don't, which is Gamer Girl. Yay. They're just reskins of the same outfit. There's one that adds sunglasses and a hat. And then it's just reskins of that, basically. Not overly impressed with it. You can't do much else than that. It is just that. That's all it is. And again, it doesn't actually say how you unlock these. I'm assuming you unlock them in game if you earn enough points, but not entirely sure. Yeah, could do better. And again, the characters, it's the same story with all of them. It's just that Kate seems to be the only one with an extra one that's actually already unlocked. They're pretty stereotypical sort of characters as well. Yeah. I mean, Marble doesn't even have that. She has the least amount of all of them. I don't know whether this is something that you would be interested in, but to me, it doesn't really make that much difference, and I'm kind of not impressed with it. And then you've got banners as well. Again, there's quite a few banners that you can get, which is kind of cool. And avatars and stuff. And these, they provide you with a fair amount. And then again, there is more that you can unlock. Although, how you unlock it, I have no idea. It doesn't really explain it. And then you've got your tags as well. There you go. So that's it for your customization. Again, could be more, could be better explained. Let's jump into the game and see what that's about. So, you've got two options when you want to start a game. You can make a custom game, or you can just do quick play. If you go through quick player, you've got any role, so you can be killer or survivor. You've got survivor, and then you've got killer. We're going to go for survivor first, and you just hit search game. Now, I'm happy to say that the queue time wasn't that bad when I played it for the first time, which means there are people playing. And as you know, in a PvP centric game, especially when it's 4v1, you need players. So I'm happy to say that the queues weren't that bad, although we're about to see just how bad they are this time. 22 seconds. I'm okay with that. And then it loads you in. I don't know how many maps there are. It doesn't explain how many maps there are, but it looks like there's only one, maybe two. And again, the load-ins and the text and everything, it looks like they're afterthoughts. It looks like they could have been better. And then you can choose your character at this thing and hit ready. Once everybody's readied up, you jump in and you can go. It really is that simple. Alright, we're in game. So, it is first person, regardless of whether you are a killer or a survivor. And the idea is that you can hide. You left click to take on the appearance of one of the objects, whatever you highlight and click. And you can see the killer, and you've got to basically avoid the killer at all costs, repair the generators, and get out. Exactly the same premise as Dead by Daylight, just with a bit of a twist, and in my opinion, not a good one. The maps don't seem to be overly large. You right click to turn around. I don't think she saw me. I think we're good. I think we're good. And then you basically got to free the other survivors, get out, earn points as you go. And that really is it. If you've played Dead by Daylight, you're going to know roughly what to do in this. Now, what I will say is that once the killer sees you, you're screwed. There is no real juking that I can see. You've got a very limited sprint time. And once you're tired, you're basically screwed. Which isn't ideal. It makes it seem like you really don't have a chance. Right? You can't stun the killer or anything. You've got the old A and D to try and wiggle out. But the wiggle is like... Again, if you've played DbD, you're going to know what I'm on about here. It's like going against Iron Will 3. It takes so much, and the map is so small, that you're basically not going to get out. You've got 3 chances of being let out or escaping, and then you're dead. Exactly the same as Dead by Daylight. And then once you're dead, you just basically have to sit and watch the match all the way through. And that really is it for Survivor. Again, if you played Dead by Daylight, you're going to pick this up really, really easily. In my opinion, it's not as fun. Interestingly enough, the killer can turn to props as well. So there's that ambush feeling for it. But you'll see about that when we actually go to killer mode. There are a few different killers, but I don't know whether the only way that you can go in and customize your killer and choose your killer is when you select killer mode to play, which is a bit weird. It'd be nice if in the options they actually had it where you could switch between killer and survivor to customize those there. So we're going to repair this real quick. Yep, it's even got the same mechanics as Dead by Daylight with the generators. It is basically a bad clone. I'm not a fan. I'm not enjoying it that much, if I'm honest. It seems a little too cartoony. It seems a little... I don't know. It seems a little more stacked towards the killer's favor with just how small the maps are. I like the prop aspect though. I like the fact that you can choose to be a prop and you can move whilst in a prop and then you can jump out as and when needed. I don't know if the killers have any abilities that they can unlock that allow them to see through the props, but a lot of the time what I've seen is that when you choose a prop, like, it's very obvious to me at least that you are a prop because of the way it lands and the way that they are on the actual scenery and stuff. Like, it seems very obvious to me that that's what it is, you know. The way that it lands, like, you don't look right, you don't look in place. But that's it for Survivor. I'm going to jump into a killer game now, and we'll explain through the killer mechanics and see which is better, what differs, what doesn't differ. But again, I'm kind of the opinion that this just isn't as good. If I was going to play a 4v1 survival, I would probably just play Dead by Daylight. Okay, so we are now playing as a killer. Interestingly enough, when you are Survivor, if you die, you have to wait until everybody's dead or everybody gets out. Like, unlike in Dead by Daylight where you can switch out to the end screen or whatever, you don't have to wait for the match to finish once you're dead. That is not the case in this. It warns you that if you exit out, there will be negative consequences. So you have to sit and wait for the round to end. Not a big fan of that, if I'm honest. It would be nice if they made it so that that wasn't the case. However, we are now as a killer. Same as before. But like I say, you can actually choose to be a prop as a killer, and you have abilities which do different things. So you can go into like Wraith mode and stuff, which is always good. And you've got a special slice as well. The idea is that you've got to basically go around and hunt your enemy, the kids, those pesky kids. And once you do, you've got to then try and hit them. If you hit them, they've got 2 strikes before they go down, exactly the same as DbD. And yeah, that is basically the game. It's, you know, there's not much different. There's not enough to differentiate it from Dead by Daylight, and certainly not enough to make me want to play this over Dead by Daylight personally. I think the concept's kind of cool. I like the idea. I like the fact that they have tried to differentiate from Dead by Daylight a bit. But in my eyes, they haven't done it enough, and they haven't done it well enough. Dead by Daylight has been out for so long now, and they are constantly updating it, that to be competition with that, they have to up their game quite a bit more. But that's just me. Let me know in those comments down below whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether you think that there are things that you like about this over Dead by Daylight, whether you think that there is things that they could improve on. I would love to know in those comments down below. And thank you very much for watching, guys. And I hope to see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.